Good gaming, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ida, and today we're gonna watch some new play cEDH. In today's game, we've got in turn order Tazri, Urza, Sisay, Where That Captain, and BlueFarm. I would like to thank the cLG. This is game 2 of their pod for allowing us to use the footage, and I'd like to thank the Scruffy Octopus for building the rack set up so that our camera and equipment is placed solidly. And the game the players are asking for pre-game. We've got BlueFarm throwing a flash duplicate, which is interesting, playing a Gemstone Cavern. And Tazri will go and start the game with a Bayou. There's a draws into a Urza Saga. Taps for 1, plays a Soul Ring. Taps a Soul Ring for Grim Monolith. Sure, that is dangerous in a Urza deck. And it'll pass. Say, oh sorry, casted a Lotus Petal, cracked the petal into an Esper Sentinel. My apologies, I was taking notes on which table is having glare issue. Position. BlueFarm plays a land, pass. Verdant Catacomb for the Tazri player. Cracks of Verdant. Sylvan Library. So we'll learn something later on the Sylvan Library. Just in case you never thought about that, the rule lawyer. There's a untaps, plays in Otawara, I believe. No, an island, a real island. Purple. Jeweled Lotus. Passes to cEDH Waterlight Captain. Boy, I'm missing some stuff. Mystical Tutor at end of turn. Esper Sentinel gets paid. Esper Sentinel, Mystical Tutor becomes a demonic consultation. Goes full on out. Casts Toracol. So Toracol resolves on ETB, demonic consultation, Esper Sentinel triggers. Cannot pay. So Tazri cannot do anything, and we've got Urza answering with a Swan Song. Esper Sentinel trigger. He's thinking hard. Gets paid. Swan Song resolve. So they are kidding because as he was searching for something else in his library for land, he just said, hey, it might break. So Toracol on the stack again. Sad Toracol, gonna be a check 2. One on top, one on bottom. And he passes. So on your draw step, Sylvan Library triggers. It's a trigger. So when you draw, you always draw your first card. Then you got a trigger for Sylvan Library. On the trigger, let's say you draw a tutor. So you draw the first. You say, oh damn, it's a tutor. This has got a vampiric tutor. So you can actually cast your vampiric tutor you just drew to get a, let's say, Jewel Lotus, put it on the top of your library, and then you draw 2 extra cards. Now, since you casted the first one, you need to pay 4 or 8. You cannot just put 1 back and it's going to be fine, because you're supposed to be putting 2 backs. Actually, could you put the 2? Yeah, but you put back the thing that you tutored for, so you will actually at least do -4 because you want to draw the thing you tutored for. So that is one of the special rule nitpicking that you can play around with Sylvan Library, which is kind of nice. I don't know, I don't play green. So he has a Windswept Heat, I believe. White-blue. So he's going to get a green-red. Taps for his Bayou after for Agata of the Val Cauldron. She hasn't activated, but it's her. The first part is activated, cost 1 less, I believe. So Urza, on his upkeep, he will make a small little construct, which is fine with Urza. Now Urza Saga triggers for the 3rd lore counter. Goes get a Jewel Lotus. Cracks Jeweled with a land. And he tries to cast Urza. Urza ADBs, gets another construct. How to get an army in a single turn. It's not shown, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Construct are now 4 4s. Tap the constructs for a blue. Plays a Voltaic key. Taps a Soaring and Grim for a Static Orb. That is something, yeah. How to slow the game. Passes to cEDH. cEDH untaps Esper. Plays a Mystic Remora. Let's try to find some answers to that Urza player. Passes. Mana Crypt. Trigger, Fish and Esper Sentinel. He can pay for the fish, and he can pay for the Esper Sentinel, but not the fish. So Mystic Remora resolves, he drew, and the Esper got paid. He swings with his non-token from the Swan Song. Bad board representation. Passes to Tazri. So he asks again how this works. So Sylvan Library, so it draws for draw step, because that's the first thing you do at your draw step. Then you've got the Sylvan Library triggers, and then Worldly Tutor triggers Mystic Remora and Esper. Now, will he keep his mana or will he pay? Because Tastic Orb is there, and it's actually making you mana starve because you can only untap 2 permanent. Doesn't pay for a Mystic, paid on the Esper Sentinel. Worldly Tutor resolves into a Dockside. I hope he has a land in hand. Draws Dockside, draws something else, put a card back. Does he?
This guy, right? He wanted to speak to this chicken. He really wants to talk to this chick.
-8. Blood is dripping from the wounds. He wanted to keep Dockside and something else. Sadly, at this point he does. God, I don't have a second land. He should not have paid for Esper. I did not pay for Esper. Things would have been wonderful. Taps for 1, plays a Judge's Familiar. Got an activated ability that something targets one of your creature, you can pay sacrifice, and then it's a pay 1 or your stuff is countered. Shenanigans. He's not cool. Taps the static orb for 1 blue. Use the Voltaic key to untap the Grim Monolith. Hold artifact rule. If your artifact is tapped, it is not doesn't have any effect on that untap step. So he taps static orb at end of turn. It is untapped, so he can untap all of his permanent because the static orb effect is not active. So let's see which kind of shenanigans he'll do. Taps to construct. Oh god, I hope not. Puts power artifact on the stack, targeting Grim. So Mystic and Esper resolves. Well, sorry, Mystic and Esper triggers. He has the mana to pay for them all. So he's going for Sol Ring, that's 2. He could tap Grim. Does he? He's committed to the play, pays for Esper, pays for Mystic, power artifact will resolve. Now he has 3 mana, so he can pay 2 to untap. Power artifact does -2 to activated ability of whatever it's attached to. And then again, you could just not use power artifact, but use the Voltaic key. Makes 2 to activate Grim. No response from anyone. So taps for 3, untaps for 2. Then he can have pretty much not infinite, but he's gonna do that process over and over again of tapping Grim, untapping Grim, tapping Grim, untapping Grim. And he'll put in his colorless pool. So they're arguing that whatever happens, he could restart the loop. So makes a million colorless. Then you'll activate Urza 75 times, and of course, shuffle, show the top card. You can cast it until next turn. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. So he can actually just cast his whole deck. Um, I don't know what is his win con, but I'm pretty sure there is a bunch in there. So in hand, BlueFarm had a. They'll show it a little bit later on. So the moment that he should have acted was when he grabbed his first two blue to untap the Grim Monolith. At that point, so we see Tishana's Tidebinder into BlueFarm's player hand. If it would have ever, if the only time that he could have casted it and stopped it was when the first Grim untap was on the stack, because he only had one mill left. At this point, if the Tishana's Tidebinder had blocked the Grim Monolith, not only would the Urza player would have had to find something to get rid of the Tishanas, because that Grim Monolith would have been dead forever. So, congratulations to the Urza player. Everybody's like, yeah, sure. At this point, they can't activate Artifact. That deck has possibly a they don't have any answer, so they're just gonna go and fold. If you learned something, post in the comments. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Please like and subscribe. Going up to 50. Thank you very much, and we see you next game.